One moment of weakness cost me everything I'd built in 20 years. My marriage, my career, my reputation, all gone because I couldn't control myself at a gas station in the middle of nowhere. My name is John. I'm 42 years old, and until recently, I was a long-haul truck driver for one of the biggest freight companies in the Midwest. 20 years, I've been driving those 18-wheelers across state lines, building a reputation as reliable, punctual, and professional. I was married to Alexa for 14 years. She was my anchor, my reason to come home after weeks on the road. But here's the thing about long-distance relationships. Even when you're married, they slowly eat away at the foundation you thought was solid. The last year had been different. Alexa seemed distant, cold even. When I'd come home after 2 weeks hauling cargo from Texas to Maine, she'd barely acknowledge me. Our bedroom had become a battlefield of silence and rejection. Maybe that's why I made the choice that destroyed everything. Or maybe I'm just making excuses for being weak. It was a Tuesday night in October. I was driving my regular route, Virginia to Kentucky, then back to Ohio where Alexa and I had our little house in Columbus. The autumn air was crisp and the highway stretched endlessly under my headlights. I've been on the road for 3 days straight, surviving on truck stop coffee and gas station sandwiches. Just outside Huntington, I pulled into a Shell station. The place was almost deserted, just me and a night shift attendant. That's when I saw her. What would you have done in my position? Comment below and let me know, because what happened next changed everything. If you found my channel, you know I share the raw truth about life's hardest lessons. Hit that subscribe button now, because this story will shake you to your core, and trust me, you won't want to miss how this nightmare unfolds. The attendant was probably around 30, with auburn hair pulled back in a messy ponytail and tired eyes that seemed to see right through my wedding ring. As I stepped out of my cab to fuel up, I caught her watching me. "Long night?" she asked, her voice carrying the kind of weariness that comes from working graveyard shifts at a highway truck stop. "Every night's long when you're hauling freight," I replied, trying to keep it professional. But there was something in her gaze, recognition, maybe, like she understood the loneliness that comes with life on the road. She walked closer as I filled my tank. "Your work's tough. Being away from home for weeks, not being able to take care of your needs." The way she said it left no room for misinterpretation. My heart started pounding. "Yeah, well, you get used to it," I managed to say, but my voice cracked slightly. "Payment's inside," she said, nodding toward the office. "Nobody else is coming by tonight. It's just us." Here's where I want you to pause and think. Have you ever been in a situation where you knew exactly what the right choice was, but every part of you wanted to make the wrong one? Hit that like button if you felt that internal war between what you should do and what you want to do. I followed her inside. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, casting harsh shadows across the cramped office. She turned to face me, and something in her expression had changed, vulnerability mixed with invitation. I should have paid for my fuel and left. I should have thought about Alexa, about my job, about the consequences. Instead, I stepped forward and pulled her into my arms. She resisted at first, pushing against my chest, but not with real force, more like she was giving herself permission to give in. We kissed desperately, hungrily, like two people drowning and finding air. What happened next lasted maybe 20 minutes, but it would echo through the rest of my life. Afterwards, as I fumbled for my wallet to pay for the diesel, she straightened her uniform and avoided eye contact. The shame hit me like a punch to the gut. I just cheated on my wife with a complete stranger in a gas station office. But the real nightmare was just beginning. I drove through the night toward Kentucky, my hands gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles went white. The radio played some country song about redemption, but all I could think about was what I'd just done. Was I sorry? Honestly, I wasn't sure. The guilt was eating at me, but there was also this twisted sense of satisfaction, like I'd finally done something just for me after years of being ignored at home. I delivered my cargo to the warehouse in Louisville the next morning, going through the motions like a robot. Load secured, paperwork signed, next destination confirmed. Just another day in the life of John the truck driver. That's when my phone rang. The caller ID showed my company's main office. My supervisor, Dave Mitchell, never called drivers directly unless something was seriously wrong. "John, you son of a bitch," Dave's voice exploded through the speaker before I could even say hello. What the hell did you do last night? My blood turned to ice. What are you talking about, Dave? Don't play dumb with me. Some woman from a Shell station in Huntington called the company this morning. Said one of our drivers sexually assaulted her. Gave us your truck number, described you perfectly, and threatened to call the police if we don't fire you immediately. The world started spinning. Sexual assault? That's not what happened. She was willing. She initiated it. She invited me inside. But who would believe my word against hers? Dave, listen, it wasn't like that. I don't want to hear it, he shouted. Finish your delivery and get back here. We're terminating your employment effective immediately. And John, you better pray she doesn't decide to press charges. The line went dead. I sat in my truck in that Louisville parking lot, staring at my phone like it might explode. 20 years of perfect service gone. My reputation destroyed. And Alexa, God, how was I going to explain this to Alexa? Have you ever had a moment where your entire life collapsed in the span of a single phone call? Let me know in the comments, because I'm about to tell you how I learned that sometimes the people we trust most are the ones who hurt us deepest. The drive back to Columbus felt like a funeral procession. Every mile brought me closer to facing Alexa, to explaining how I'd thrown away everything we'd built together for 20 minutes of selfish gratification. I pulled into our driveway around 6 p.m., 3 days earlier than expected. Alexa's car was there, but there was another vehicle parked behind it, a silver BMW I didn't recognize. My hand shook as I turned off the engine. Maybe it was a friend. Maybe her sister had bought a new car. I was grasping at straws, trying to avoid the obvious conclusion. I used my key to open the front door quietly. The house was too quiet, but I could hear voices upstairs, Alexa's laugh, followed by a deeper male voice I didn't recognize. Everything inside me went cold. I climbed the stairs like I was walking to my execution. Our bedroom door was slightly open, and through the gap, I saw them. My wife of 14 years in bed with a stranger, both of them naked, both of them completely absorbed in each other. The man was younger than me, probably early 30s, with the kind of build that comes from regular gym visits. Everything I wasn't anymore after years of truck stop food and sedentary driving. I stood there for maybe 30 seconds, watching my marriage die in real time. Alexa was making sounds I hadn't heard from her in over a year. She was passionate, engaged, alive in a way she never was with me anymore. Here's the thing that broke me most. She looked happy. Genuinely, radiantly happy. I backed away from the door and walked downstairs. Sat on our couch, the same couch where we used to watch movies together when we were young and still believed in forever. About an hour later, I heard the BMW start up and drive away. Alexa came downstairs in her robe, probably expecting to clean up before I got home in 3 days. Instead, she found me sitting in our living room, still in my work clothes, staring at nothing. John, her voice was small, guilty. You're early. I looked at her, really looked at her for the first time in months. How long? I asked quietly. She didn't pretend not to understand. 6 months, she whispered. 6 months. While I was killing myself on the road, working 60-hour weeks to keep us financially stable, she was building a whole other life. I lost my job today, I told her. 20 years gone. Made a mistake I'll regret for the rest of my life. Alexa sat down across from me, tears starting to form. John, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for you to find out like this. I was going to tell you. When I interrupted. When were you going to tell me? After the divorce papers were served? Subscribe to this channel if you want to know how this story ends, because what I discovered next about my perfect wife and her boyfriend will absolutely shock you. And trust me, the revenge I planned was worth the wait. But that's a story for the next video. Hit that notification bell, because you won't want to miss what happens when a betrayed truck driver decides to fight back. What would you do if you came home to find your spouse cheating? Let me know in the comments below.